Well, reading body language isn't just something we should do as adults. It's something we parents can do better as parents. Joining us now is communications expert and founder of Power Body Language, Lisa Mitchell. Good morning.
Hey Tracy, how are you?
I'm good. It's good to see you. Sorry about yesterday, but we got our things, our ducks in a row, so to speak.
I'm all about building some good suspense. It worked out fine.
Okay. So how can we start? Do we need to have been reading our child's body language prior to this to know what the changes are, or how's this work?
Well, the good news is you really have been paying more attention as a parent than you probably think you have prior to this, and you kind of already know and have an idea for how your child normally shows up, kind of the energy that they bring, how they physically carry themselves in different situations, everything from kind of the breakfast table to the afternoon lull. You kind of already know the flow of how your child is physically showing up. So really to do this, it doesn't take a lot of extra effort. It's just really about watching and observing with a little bit more intention and looking for some cues and clues from your child's body language that may tell you, hey, now's the time to ask some questions or to have a conversation with them.
So if we're seeing a lot of things that look the same, we can assume to a degree that things are okay, but then we need to look for the things that have changed, right?
Exactly. Because looking for what looks different is really kind of where you start your clues in your conversation. So, for instance, if your child comes down in the morning and they're usually high energy at the breakfast table and they're telling you stories and they're super animated and engaged, and then all of a sudden, as they move further into this change in this period of transition, they're much lower energy. Maybe they show some uncertainty, or they're really quiet or way less animated than normal. With all other things being equal, that's a pretty strong indicator that maybe they're having a hard time processing, or they need to talk about some feelings with you.
Okay, that makes sense. Well, so what are some of the things that we should be looking for? Because sometimes I think, well, this is the circumstances we're in, and other times I think, no, he's just turning into a teenager.
Right. Well, it's a fine line, right?
Yeah.
I have one of those in my house too. But I think really it's looking for things that are really appearing different for them. So like low power body position. So if they're walking around or sitting a lot with their head down, not staring at a device, right? Like if you're talking to them and their head is down, maybe their shoulders are rolled forward and they're kind of just presenting a little bit smaller than they normally do, or a little more closed off than they normally do. That could be an indicator that maybe they're not feeling safe, maybe they're dealing with some sadness. It really can just be a moment of recognition and asking a question of like, hey, how are you feeling right now? Or you seem a little down. What's going on? So it's a good clue to look for kind of that lower power or kind of closed in body posture in your child.
That could also go the other way, right? Then it's to somebody who's that low body, low energy appearance could manifest itself some other way. They could actually go the opposite, get aggressive?
Absolutely. So the other thing that you might notice or see differently is more aggressive behavior or mannerisms. And sometimes this can be really subtle. It can be maybe noticing that your child's jaw is clenched a lot, especially when they're interacting with people or interacting with maybe siblings or with you. Also, clenched fists as kind of a default position. That's kind of our body's way of getting ready to fight almost, even if we don't realize that we're doing it. If we feel stressed or we feel anger, those are intense emotions and they show up in our body. So is your child just standing there with their fists clenched, and is that normal for them or not? That can just be their way of kind of managing their aggression or managing their fear, and it can even manifest itself in physical confrontation, or maybe there's more pushing or shoving or just more physicality coming from your child. That isn't normal. That can be signs that, hey, maybe we've got some anger, maybe we're feeling really disappointed and they're not being asked the right questions or engaged with in a way that lets them express that. So they're kind of holding it all in, and that can be really volatile.
Okay. I feel fortunate as a parent that my 3 children stink at masking their emotions. So my one son has a very fake, his genuine smile looks very fake. So in that regard, so I don't have to worry really about them not kind of wearing their emotions, but that could be another one too, right?
Exactly. So one of the things is sometimes if kids aren't, they just don't want to have a conversation, or maybe they're avoiding, they'll just put on a kind of a fake happy And the hallmark of a fake smile or fake happiness is it only activates kind of from the nose down. So there's none of that eye crinkling that shows genuine happiness. So sometimes it's a cover or an avoidant technique to just throw happy on your face and hope nobody asks you any questions. If you're seeing a lot of fake happy or maybe expressions that don't feel genuine or don't look the same way as they did before when your child was expressing happiness, like fake happy is actually a signal of sadness. It's kind of the opposite of happy. It's not like half happy. So if you're seeing a lot of fake happy or a lot of like forced positive emotions, that can be their way of covering or avoiding. And again, it's just kind of checking in. How are you feeling? You know, what did today feel like for you? And just taking a moment to just notice and engage and ask some non-confrontational questions like, hey, it looks like you have an attitude today. That doesn't usually work so great. I've tried that a few times. But just asking an open-ended, kind of neutral, non-confrontational question can help give your child an outlet for healthy expression.
Well, I am genuinely happy to speak with you today, as I always am, and generally appreciative of the tips. Thank you so much. PowerBodyLanguage.com. We'll put the link on IndyStyle.tv. Good to see you.